Welcome to this next episode of YouTube where we talk a little bit about social stimulus. And as we start out here, the social stimulus was provided by a red squirrel who happened to be in the main exhibit pack enclosure. And you can see Aiden in a predatory mode, pretty stimulated, and a real high tail wag. And here comes Denali, who spots it in the tree, is trying to figure out how to get up there and chase this squirrel out of the enclosure. So even though it's predatory and it's a predatory motivation, still is extremely social in the way the two interact and the stimulus that, as I said, just kind of naturally occurs within the exhibit. We are always very mindful of stimulus that arouses the wolves and keeps them interested and enticed in activity. And after this scene, Aiden and Denali did a little bit of a wrestling bout, and so the activity of chasing the squirrel together in a social endeavor makes them again more interactive, and certainly these two are very compatible as litter mates. So you'll see them continue to circle around the rock. Denali has spotted the squirrel, has not been able to figure out how to get up there, and by this time they've chased it to the top of the tree, and the squirrel does manage to get down the tree and go underneath the fence. So again, this was something that we didn't put in. This is a common occurrence in a wooded enclosure with animals coming and going. A few weeks ago, you may have saw the groundhog the woodchuck that had gotten into the enclosure. Squirrels are a common part of the exhibit. This is a heavily forested area, so you'll see treetop to treetop movement, and here's Denali jumping up again, trying to reach the top of the tree, and by then he chases it out, and he and Aiden follow it to the edge of the fence where it reaches safety. So again, that's starts out predatory but ends up social, meaning the two are working together cooperatively to chase a squirrel and end up with a lot of social activity. For Grizzer, his social stimulus is Oscar, as well as wolf care staff, as well as any activity that goes on in the wolf yard. And this is a view of him coming into this new enclosure. He got very excited on Saturday morning's wolf care when 3 wolf care staff were in the new enclosure with him, and just kind of raced around the exhibit, and has a much farther running pattern than he previously had. The other thing that we have for social companionship is Oscar. The wood panels that you see are all new. These are hardware cloth, so very fine webbing of metal that is in a protective cedar frame that allows Oscar to come right up next to the enclosure and rub noses without a nose going through the chain link fence. So it's about 4 feet high, which protects Oscar's height and allows him to interact with Grizzer. There are rocks in the frame for stability, also to keep Oscar from chewing on the edge of that hardware cloth, to make sure that it stays intact. But as you can see, Oscar has no problem interacting right next to the enclosure. And as we said earlier, we do allow Grizzer to continue to maintain the pack holding area space, to be able to utilize that space. So he comes and goes as he wishes. When there's activity in the wolf yard and staff come in the morning, he's right there at the fence waiting to greet Oscar, who comes out of the lab for the morning, and the wolf care staff that come in. Shadow and Malik actually do not greet Oscar. We've blocked off that area. A couple of reasons. Malik is showing some aggression towards Oscar and has been really kind of lunging, stalking him, that kind of thing, when Oscar's on the leash back there. And it's caused Oscar a little anxiety where he started to respond, so we don't want to let Oscar back there. But their stimulus is actually quite interesting. Their stimulus is to get away from flies, and this is what Shadow has dug in the back of the enclosure adjacent to the pond. It's right underneath a tree root, so it's at the base of a tree root, and it goes down and it covers it's fairly deep. He's able to go in, turn around, and lay down in the cool shade out of the flies and the heat. And the stimulus for those two, again, is each other. As litter mates, they get along pretty well, as well as camera operators when they're in there. We do see a little bit of following behavior, but for the most part, they're doing pretty good. So again, the social stimulus is important. Oscar is going to play an important role with the 2012 pups. We were lucky to find him, and he's working out pretty well. We now have the area completely secure, so Oscar is safe anywhere that he is in the wolf yard. He is maintained by staff. Several staff are working with him. We have people who walk him every morning, make sure he has a good 15 to 20 minute walk to relax. During the day, he's either hanging out in the wolf lab with staff, in the yard or maybe coming in the classroom, participating in programs. As we said, Aiden is very excited about him and has created a real positive environment for Aiden. The only issues we have with Oscar, a little bit of a rock chaser, and we'll have to work on that. He's definitely got something in his body that makes him want to retrieve and hurt and chew rocks, so we'll work on that. We've been buying him a lot of toys and giving him a lot of pig's ears and things. So that's it from the Wolf Lab. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll keep you posted as the fall progresses and the cooler air arrives. Thank you.